Hi there, welcome to the latest news coverage in the Noah Presgrove case. Noah's family has spoken out just recently with, the anniversary coming up of Noah's death and some additional details provided. I'll be reading the article out, giving you my thoughts and opinions on the matter, and we'll also be discussing the whole footage photo of Noah Presgrove, Jack Newton in the bathroom area, which for quite some time was regarded taken 1:50 in the morning on Monday, and all of a sudden now it's been regarded as Sunday or Sunday night. What is going on? Quite shocking. It kind of turns the tables upside down in terms of outlooks and the last known footage of Noah documented before whatever happened to him, or at least the last known public footage documented before the inevitable of events leading up. So be sure to stick around today. You don't want to miss out. What I do want to say is, very important, YouTube has created a new feature. So on channels which have 500 subscribers up to 500,000 subscribers, there is now a hype button. You should be able to find that somewhere below in the comment section or just underneath the playback of the video, where you've got like, dislike, share, add to playlist. It should be along the bar somewhere, even if you've got to scroll across. If you click hype, it improves the reach of the video and it earns points so it can rank higher up. Now, why would that be important for you watching to hype the video? You can do it up to 3 times per week for creators such as her. By hyping a video, it will spread more awareness. And considering the Noah Presgrove case and any other missing person true crime case out there needs awareness to be helped and kept alive, to introduce new people to the subject to learn. By getting that reach and hype, it will enable that growth. It will enable the case to stay active and bring in different faces. So it's all positive. So be sure to check it out when you've got time. It's somewhere down below. Welcome if you are here during the live premiere. You can share your thoughts and live reactions in the chat box on the right side of the screen. If you do have any additional comments, or if you're watching on catch up, if you have questions, answers, theories, ideas, discussions, anything, leave your thoughts down below under the video in the comment section. That will help with reach as well, and engagement and new ideas and possible new videos and suggestions. It's all welcomed and appreciated. If you do want to catch up on recent coverage by me, missed out on any videos whatsoever, don't worry. They can all be found and discovered top right corner where the I symbol is up there. If you click on it, you'll get the drop down menu box with the full playlist. If you want to support my coverage, if you want to support my channel in general, down below in the comment section there is a pinned message with my PayPal link direct and YouTube channel membership if you want exclusive perks and badges here specifically. With that being said, the order of how we'll do things today, we'll take a look at one of the latest news articles and the family speaking out amongst Noah's death and the ongoing mystery. And then we'll go onto the Facebook page and look at an interesting discussion by Tim Daniel and the responses. So this was posted, created by Todd Brooks, September 4th, 2025, on the day leading up to the anniversary of Noah's death, because Noah Presgrove did pass away, died on the 4th of September, but back in 2023. So it's quite fitting why there would be some news coverage once again. And what I have done is by Oklahoma, or Comanche, Oklahoma, quite official, but it was a dodgy website. I couldn't use the reader mode, and that's why the background is white and not black. So I've had to just cleanse the page because there was distracting stuff about. But it reads, "We just want to know what happened. Presgrove's family still seeking answers to death 2 years later." Now, little slideshow there. You got the grave of Noah Presgrove cemetery, and then a photo of Noah there. I believe there was some photos posted recently on the Facebook page, maybe by Justin Roy or somebody else, and it was showing the casket of Noah. I mean, as for why, I don't know, maybe everybody does things differently. I can understand maybe the grave and like a memorial bit, the highway, but the actual casket, should that be shown? Does the family approve of that? I don't know. But we're more so focused on here for now. Family members of Noah Presgrove are still searching for answers 2 years after his mysterious death. On September 4th, 2023, 19-year-old found dead on the side of the road near Terrell. And it wasn't just a road, it was a highway which had limited light visibility and had no cameras whatsoever. So let's acknowledge that. His body was found bloody and battered, and he was wearing only his shoes. Oh no, not this again. Right, so it looks like this article hasn't really done enough research, so I will have to try and correct it along the way. And if you wonder why, it's because if new people get involved, if they see this for the first time, they're going to think it's the absolute truth, when it's not quite. So yes, found on the side of a highway, the hard shoulder. Body found bloody. Very interesting how it's worded that. Battered, you could say, but battered as in what? Suggesting a beatdown? Is this article being one-sided? Depends how you interpret the word. But to say bloody or bloodied is interesting, considering a lot of people on one side more than the other had said that, well, there wasn't enough blood. There was no blood at the scene. So where is it then? And obviously, when you look into it a bit deeper, you realise that there was blood present. Maybe on the outside, not enough, but on the inside and what was absorbed by sheeting, coverings, that would have sucked up some of the blood too. Very interesting. To say that Noah was wearing only his shoes, that's incorrect. Noah was found wearing only one of his shoes, black Adidas. The other shoe that he was wearing wasn't his. It was Caden Pressey's Hey Dude shoe. And Jack Newton is the only one in the entire case to publicly state that Noah had one shoe on, one shoe off. Did the ME report the autopsy state that too? No. So, what's going on there? Very unusual. Family members had a low-key day remembering Presgrove over the weekend. Now, the interesting thing is, when it came to that 1 year anniversary, the first time, the death of someone will always be the hardest, of course. So the family back then were honouring Noah in their own special way privately, as you would expect. But guess what? Some people from the Army page, for example, Tiffany Shepherd, Vanessa Salazar, and some others were highlighting how, why is it not being celebrated, Noah? Why is it not being acknowledged public? Why are the family doing it so low-key and private? They kind of owe us. Not literally meant in their words, but that's how it could be interpreted, the tone and the entitlement. And Justin Roy got into some battles and words, of choice words, with Noah's father, Victor Presgrove, back and forth. Robin Smith calling Justin Roy out, saying you need to back down. You don't stop when we say you need to, or when the police tell you to. You just keep on going. And Victor was encouraging people from the Army page to get away from the place because it was disease-ridden and it was bad for the case and it wasn't helping, and so on. It was like World War III, if you remember, just because the victim's family were honouring Noah Presgrove privately, and general public, some online, felt entitled to say, well, you know, the general public have done more, have shown more care, have honoured Noah more than their own victim's family had. That's what caused all the tension at the time, if you remember. Oh, but it doesn't seem to happen now, I wonder. Now, in quotes, it says, "It's not an anniversary you want to celebrate," said Robin Smith, Presgrove's aunt by marriage. "We just met at the lake to have some time together. We talked about the case a little." As in who? The whole family? Was Casey Smith there as well? I wonder. And at what lake did they meet at? Was it Warwicker Lake? Or somewhere else? He had attended... Right, this is about Noah. Noah had attended a multi-day Labour Day party with friends the night before his death. Okay, interesting how it's worded, because previous times it's always been worded that Noah had died at the night. Authorities initially suspected that Noah was the victim of a hit-and-run accident, but this was later ruled out as his injuries were not consistent with being hit by a vehicle, and there was no vehicle debris at the scene. The medical examiner's report listed the cause of death as multiple blunt force injuries, but stated that the manner of death was undetermined. The report also indicated that he had been drinking and had a blood alcohol level about twice the legal limit. Was it 0.14 or above? According to a wrongful death lawsuit filed by his family in June, Noah had been at a party that involved underage drinking. The lawsuit alleges that Noah was involved in the side-by-side rollover incident and later got into a verbal argument with two of the defendants, which were mentioned in the wrongful death lawsuit as Jack Newton, the best friend to Noah, and Avery Jo Combs, or Avery Jo Howard, the birthday girl. As for what it was about, the argument, who knows? Could it have been before or after the bedroom debacle? Maybe. Was it at the time of 3:30 when Noah was walking away? Possibly. The lawsuit claims that Noah was beaten to death by one or more of the defendants, and that two or more defendants engaged in a civil conspiracy to beat him. The lawsuit seeks at least $75,000 in damages. Now, how it's worded that at least one of the defendants or more had beaten Noah to death, and that two or more defendants engaged in a conspiracy to beat him. So does that mean a possible total of 4 different defendants were involved? 3 to 4? I wonder. Just in like how it's worded here, that at least one or more beat up Noah, and 2 or more, as if 2 other people or more defendants had engaged in a conspiracy, a plot, an idea to beat Noah up, as in it was planned beforehand. But I'm sure it's been worded a few times in the case community and in general that if it did happen and if there was murder, it wasn't planned out. It was like all in the moment, heat of the moment. So that's interesting. Several defendants have responded to the lawsuit. That involves Val Patrol, the limited liability service, the Napoli store, which is supposedly responsible for distributing alcohol to underage people, more specifically Jack Newton, and supposedly Jack Newton, when buying that alcohol, distributed it to Noah Presgrove at the party to drink. Is there enough evidence to fully prove that? Not at this moment in time. Other defendants to respond back, joint, was father and son, Caleb Newton, father, Jack Newton's son, who both responded back, and Carter Combs. As for Logan, Avery, Stevie Howard, Jonah, Johnny, Trout, Wilcoxon, and any other names I've missed out on, they have failed to respond or be served. So that's kind of interesting. Beside that, according to court documents, several defendants denied allegations and claimed Presgrove's own negligence contributed to his death. That appears to be the case. 2 of them also demanded a jury trial. I believe that's Jack and Caleb. It seems very calloused, like it's just a big waste of time, Smith said. Robin Smith. Very calloused, like it's a big waste of time. A big waste of time? Well, that's like what Caleb said. Caleb Newton said this whole wrongful death lawsuit is a big waste of time and energy, and it's not going to progress the case. In fact, it's going to go backwards. But now it's saying Robin Smith said of the response, wanting to know what happened from people who know what happened should never be considered a waste of time. Right. And that is the crux of the issue for the family. They want to know what happened. In quotes, it's very sad we don't have answers, Robin Smith said. We just want to know what had happened, and it's difficult when people who know what happened won't tell us the truth. It's interesting because Robin Smith at one point in the past, and I don't know if I've got the screenshots with me immediately, had brought up about, partygoers, they wouldn't know of anything, or they're not likely to have done anything to Noah. But then either in the same one or another one had been consistent with at least highlighting that partygoers, if it was cold-blooded or not murder, that they might be hiding something and not telling the complete truth. So, as for all of the defendants, how many of those defendants are truly responsible firsthand? How many of the remaining defendants know of something on behalf of another person who isn't directly involved but knows something of one of the other defendants that is and covering for them? Is it possible in any shape or form that all of the defendants aren't directly involved, but they all know of someone or some people that are responsible and are keeping quiet? You let me know your outlook there. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol, which is investigating the case, has not made a public statement since May 2024, when they released a statement that it was not being investigated as a murder, but rather a suspicious death. It's slow going, says Robin Smith. It's not an overnight process. We're just trusting the process and hoping to get answers. So it seems like the victim's family are patient, of course, but also understanding. But are they frustrated by the police saying lack of progress? I mean, the subpoena could imply that. But beside that, any complaints, public outcry, outrage? Not at the moment. The case has continued to grab international headlines, which Robin Smith said the family is grateful for. So basically, that can be interpreted in one way or another as international, the UK, United Kingdom, as in WarLike Wrath, from the UK, covering the case and keeping it alive single-handedly, thousands of miles away. And it says that the family are grateful for. So indirectly speaking, it implies that Noah's family indirectly are grateful for my coverage. And there was a friend at one point in the past on behalf of the family that said to me that they are appreciative of it. So that's always good. And he quotes, "We are so grateful for the support for us to find answers," said Smith. "Sometimes it gets a little crazy. I would say for people with tips to make sure they are accurate, because otherwise it's just waste time and it's not helpful. I never listened to true crime podcast before Noah's death, but we do get people reaching out about things I hadn't thought about. Sometimes it does get repetitive." Smith said she could not comment on when the case might be heard in court. That is very interesting, the bit about where Robin says, "I never listened to true crime before Noah's death, but we do get some people, I guess general public, reaching out about things I hadn't thought about," in which people reaching out to the family could be influenced by maybe some of my videos, and it passes on, and then it passes on to the family, and then they say, "Well, we didn't think of it that way before." So that is why it's important for me to do my videos, the questioning and analysis, because yes, it might come across as repetitive. Some people may feel like that. But sometimes you can go round and round in circles, and then eventually you find what you've been looking for in that one place. You've lost a controller, you've lost some money, you've lost a ring, you've lost something valuable or important to you. You don't let go. You don't give up. You try, you search, you dig deep. It might be repetitive, might seem like the definition of insanity, but one way or another, down the line, you find what you've been looking for, big or small. It can happen. So when I said about what Robin had said previously, I managed to find it, and we can compare it to what she said at another point. Just to tie it all in together from the past to present time, Robin Smith, October 3rd, 2023, really early on post-death of Noah. Let's get one thing straight. This was not an accident. This was murder. This was not a hit and run. This was not a side-by-side wreck. This was pure, cold-blooded murder. We've heard so many different stories, but we have yet to hear the truth, the whole truth, which we deserve. I know it's scary, I know it's hard, but we deserve to know what happened. Noah deserves to have his story told. We will not stop searching and asking, we will not stop demanding, it will come out. So that being in mind, to imply murder can imply that partygoers could be responsible, but it's not quite direct as to who is responsible in this particular comment. But when we transition on to this one, and I know it's very blurry, so I'll read it out to you, but at some other point, Robin Smith had said to Brooke Bounds Carter, "You're right, I don't believe that this was a vicious murder." To think that any of Noah's friends would do that is unimaginable. What I do not appreciate is the lack of cooperation and the lying that has been going on. Regardless of what happened, it makes people seem suspicious, as if they know the whole story and are trying to cover it. Evidence shows that Noah was not alone when this happened, as in the death, and yet no one will tell us exactly what happened. But at least my question is, What is the evidence that shows that Noah was not alone? What is that evidence? Is that evidence which has been influenced and added into the wrongful death lawsuit claiming that there was a verbal fight between Jack and Avery, the defendants, with Noah Presgrove? And that implies that when Noah was walking away, Noah was not alone because he was in the presence of those two party goers. And anyone else in between? I wonder. But outright to say, I don't believe that this was a vicious murder. Yet October 2023, Robin said, this was not an accident, this was murder. This was pure cold-blooded murder. So the outlook, the opinions have changed. But the concept of believing that there are partygoers that know of something and are not completely telling the truth, that's consistent with what we've just read today. However, back then there was more leniency with Robin because she believed that maybe the partygoers aren't responsible, but they may know of something. And because it appears as if they're hiding something, it makes them look more suspicious than what they may be. But now, in recent time, Robin's more focused on the people not telling the truth and those defendants, there's something going on, more so. The only thing that was interesting at the time when Brooke Bounce-Carter did respond, she did say, okay, so we definitely agree on it not being a murder. So if there is evidence that he wasn't alone, maybe there was another kid there from the party, as in a stranger. But even if there was evidence and there was another kid from the party that was around Noah at the time of his death, how does that link into a death scenario, providing it's not murder? An accident, something gone wrong, but how exactly? Unfortunately, I don't think there was a full screenshot, but, it's just interesting to refer back to. In reference and response to that new article, what we did take a look at when the family had responded, to be honest, when it comes to that titling, and it's not just the official news groups and media, it can also be people in the communities, as in they can refer to just one sole individual as the whole representative of the family in a conscious consensus, which is very interesting because I'm sure they've all got their own little thoughts and ideas and personal opinions on the case at hand and the pros, the cons, the positives, the negatives. But when Robin Smith speaks, it's regarded as the whole family speaking, but it's only one individual. But, they all think alike and aware and okay with Robin doing the talking, then fair enough. It's just interesting, Karen, these different cases, you get some people that speak up more than others, and it's just a little pattern, just a little observation. We don't really see other people talking as much, but maybe it's just not their role or they prefer not to, which is understandable, Some people are better at one thing than another, and then other people are better at something else than the other. And then I know there was that phase in the community where people more calling out the dark side, calling them the mouthpieces of the case, all these weird, cringy, degenerative buzzwords which go about every now and then, which was a little bit embarrassing. But, at the end of the day, some people speak more than others, and at other times the loud ones are just a minority, but it sounds like the majority because it's so loud. But I guess in more recent time, things have just got a little bit quieter, and that's just because for as long as a case goes on for, the hunger, the desire, the anticipation, it's reduced with time. Some people can stick at it and stay about longer. And when it comes to the victim's family, they're going to be sticking about for as long as they can, of course, because it's important to them and so on. But I wonder who did attend that lake when they all got together. You probably think Madison, Ashley Chadwick, Dalen, probably Victor, Deborah Smith, Robin, and anyone else, some of her cousins. Was Paul Poucher there, that supposed cousin? Was Casey Smith invited? I wonder. Just worth taking into consideration. And them talking about the case, as in their current views, what to expect next actions or steps, I wonder. They've not been as vocal outwards publicly as previous cases with different families, but everybody acts and reacts differently from case to case, family to family. That's understandable. But, considering how Robin Smith was saying, you've got to trust the process, can't expect overnight, it's going to take time. And it's one of those things where you're patient, you wait, because it's important to you, it's important to the cause and what's at hand, of course. But there's got to be a point in time, give or take, where something has to give. If it goes on too long, is anything really going to happen? You've got to be realistic with yourself, realistic with the vision and the future. To say you've got to trust the process, it takes time. It's been 2 years and counting, and not much has really happened. See, in the Dylan Rounds case, not much had happened there either, 2 years. But at least the killer, unknown to some people at the time, was already apprehended on unrelated charges. So they were kept at bay, and it was just a matter of building a case and trying to get the person to confess or open up, which eventually happened April 9th, 2024. Quite some time passing by, like 3 years and counting. Is that what's going to happen with Noah Presgrove? Who knows? More defendants, more people to deal with, more time it may take. Now, if Robin's just referring to the current process, which is just recent, that it can take time, you got to trust the process, then fair enough. If you're talking about the case overall, 2 years on, enough time has passed by. Something has to change. Something has to improve or get better, because if not, what other options are there? What other directions can you explore? So on. Now, with that aside, covering some of the latest articles, if we head on over to one of the Facebook posts, Tim Daniel, and the reference to Jack and Noah in the bathroom being labelled, or others claiming it as Sunday. I've never heard of it worded that way before, if I'll be honest with you. I've only ever heard it worded as Monday morning at 1:50 a.m. And that, 45 minutes earlier or so, you had Noah outside with Brylan Sweat, and Brylan slapped Noah and Caden recorded it about 1:05 in the morning. So, if it means it's Sunday, then it means Brylan slapping Noah is the last known public documented footage of Noah alive. Bringing it back earlier, meaning there's a wider gap then between 1:05 to 3:30. Interesting. Without further ado, let's look at the context and see what people have had to say amongst. This post can be found from 2 days ago. Credit to Tim Daniel on the case discussion group. And the caption is, can someone please remind me how we know the bathroom photo is from Sunday and not Saturday? It was labelled as Sunday by someone in this group, but I'm not sure who labelled it that way and how they knew the day. Thanks. Well, all the time I've covered it on my channel, not a single person has, to my knowledge and memory, contested and said it was Sunday. Most people agree it's Monday. So what suddenly changed? And I know Tim Daniel, I don't know if you've been influenced by any of my videos to bring up this discussion or point, but you, Tim, have been around when I have covered this photo, this selfie, and regarded it as Monday, not Sunday, and not Saturday at all. So what has ultimately changed? This is the bathroom one. This has been edited from the looks of it, but who edited it, as in Sunday? It's circled as in the hand and the knuckles. I guess the reason why that's been done is because there is a Saturday photo of Noah holding a can with his khaki beige shorts on, and he's got scrapes on his knuckles on his hand. The thing is, though, Noah's fingers are bent, so his upper knuckles aren't visible. But of course, he's got all writing on the front of his chest, and a part of it says, "I eat ass," and then some other writing as well. But it is faded, and that could be explained by certain events, which I've already done a deep video on. It's just a shame that not enough people have seen it, because at the time of when I was doing the most critical, important, locked-in analysis, other humans out there, outsiders, were too busy going on with conflict and drama on other pages and Facebook. So beside that, and take in mind, I did a very, very important brand new footage of the party house passing on by, 2025 footage, uploaded last night. Be sure to check the video out if you haven't already. Extremely important. Let's see what's mentioned here in the comments in response. Oh, Dimas and tan shorts. Could this have been after the bathroom pic or after the side-by-side incident? Right. I mean, because it's taken inside of the bathroom, you could understand why you could interpret it with the side-by-side after effects, because Noah was escorted to the bathroom area. But supposedly, during all of that, Jack was asleep, so unlikely. Jack had originally said he went to sleep at 11:30 with Carter. Then it changed to 1 in the morning, and then ultimately it changed to 2 in the morning when that photo up above of Noah and Jack Monday morning at 1:50 a.m. So Jack had to say, well, I didn't go to sleep at 1 in the morning because I'm here on camera. So I went to sleep 2 in the morning, which is 10 minutes after this photo taken. And to be honest, he does look a little sleepy with his eyes and the way he's looking. Noah looks more alive and active and energised. So maybe Jack was winding down. I don't miss. In this picture above, he has the marker writing all over, but in another picture, he has his fingers injured. And in one of the pictures, he has scratches on him. Can anyone locate or trace when the date was on those pictures? Well, Noah Presgrove, with his injures supposedly, with his fingers injured, in the khaki shorts, that is Saturday. As for the pictures of scratches on Noah, to my memory, I'm yet to see. What's this all about of photos with scratches on Noah's body? Where are the scratches? On the back, on the arms, on the tummy? Where exactly? And are they really scratches or what? Because I don't remember it myself. So the picture he's got writing on his torso, but earlier on, at least for example in my chain of events at 1:05 in the morning, Noah did not have any writing on his chest at that time. But 45 minutes later, he did, the bathroom selfie. Someone could have written on him in between, that's very possible. But why would it be faded? If he had washed himself, if he had jumped in the Red River in between, from what BBC said, on and off, possibility. Creates a very tight frame window. But to be honest, the time frame window of going into the Red River to wash off would be complemented more if the bathroom photo of Noah and Jack wasn't at 1:50 and was a day earlier. That could link in better, to be honest. We'll get to that eventually. Where are the other videos from the party? All we've seen are videos of Noah. There has to be many more of other people. It's not all about Noah. Yes, I do understand that for the full picture. The thing is, anonymous member, if you go to my channel, my YouTube channel, I have covered never seen before, never released before party footage up until it was given to me to publish. Okay? Which included 2:32 in the morning of Pepe Guam and Mikey Lair outside. So that's of other people. Anyone else? Well, Brylan Sweat and Mikey Lair. He says, one-on-one, Mike Tyson. That short little clip. The one of, I think it's Avery running into their material, breaking it in half. That was of other people besides Noah. So there are other points of views, just not enough of it. That's what we all want to know. It may be possible people are either holding off due to the investigation or they have been wiped. Oh no. But may come up sometime during the investigation. I wonder why the social media post during the party were removed. It seems too obvious someone didn't want to be seen or withhold something, or people claiming not to be there. Has social media party posts been removed? I wouldn't know myself. If you're talking about Snapchat, I don't own or use Snapchat nor ever. Was there any other social media pages that showed or displayed it? And is the proof and evidence of it being removed from these social media pages? Siobhan, I think after OHP took all the phones, the only one left with a phone to post pictures and videos was Caden. That's why we've only seen a small amount. But whilst Caden's phone... Wait, what's Siobhan getting at here? As in the reason... My interpretation is the reason why other people's points of views are not publicly visible because Siobhan is saying, I think OHP took all the phones of those said individuals, so publicly it won't be shown. But the ones that still have their phones public to also post public if they wish to, for example, Caden. That appears to be the case. Missy, also, I know it's an uncomfortable subject, but unless the stomach is empty, a body defecates when dying. And before we move on, what I do want to add on in terms of the lack of points of views of other partygoers at the party, I mean, there was a point where people have supposedly witnessed seeing the bathroom footage of Noah from a different point of view, maybe by Jasmine Milan, maybe by Carter Combs or another person, and recording what went on there. That gives a different point of view. Yeah, it's still about Noah Presgrove, but just from the point of view of a different person holding the camera, phone. But it's just not been released public properly, or it wasn't archived public. So, in terms of the body defecating when dying, no one mentions this about the black shorts that were tattered when returned to his brother. Now, unfortunately, from the looks of it, Missy does not give the context or source, as in who claimed that they were tattered. But I do know, because I actually remember, Partners in True Crime, their less known interview podcast with Noah's family, Ashley and Robin Smith, whilst reacting to a former pre-recorded interview with Jack Newton. At some point they stopped the interview, and Rob and Cindy made a reference to the black shorts of Noah, saying that they saw them themselves and they were tattered, they were torn, damaged. Alicia, Caden's mom, said, well, they got it wrong, the shorts were not damaged. So who knows what? Who's telling the truth and who's lying? Why would Partners in True Crime say the black shorts of Noah's were tattered and ripped, but for Alicia Lee to say they were not damaged whatsoever? Why is there a divide? Either the shorts are damaged or not. And one person says they are, the other person says they were not. So one of the two individuals had seen the shorts, likely. The other one did not. It's very weird. It says he almost certainly would have been wearing black briefs under both colours of shorts. So that's another clothing item that's never been mentioned. It has been mentioned on my channel, by the way, because I do analyse a lot. And there appears to be black briefs, black boxers that Noah was wearing, which were under his khaki beige shorts, which likely would have been under his black shorts as well, possibly. Not mentioned in the autopsy. So when Noah Presgrove was walking away, if it's accidental and he's for some reason borrowing the white shorts and he was in the back of a vehicle, I've already done the theory, you'll have to look back for the full context, and falling out of a moving vehicle, the shorts catched onto the vehicle. Noah went one way, the shorts remained hooked onto the vehicle, the shorts come off. But what about the boxers, the underwear, the underpants, whatever you want to call them? What happened to them? The autopsy doesn't acknowledge that. The witnesses on scene don't acknowledge it, just that Noah was wearing shorts. Now, it is possible and normal to be wearing, shorts, trousers, whatever, without underwear. Some people may do it because it's a bit warm and a bit too hot. People may do it because they're lazy. Other people may do it because they've got no spare pairs and just wearing something is better than nothing. And some people may do it because they want to be risky, and so on and so on. For Noah Presgrove, though, Noah may have run out of his own personal shorts due to them being dirty, damaged, whatever. But what about the boxers' underwear? Were they damaged as well? Couldn't Noah just wear them on top or under, more so, the white shorts, which he was borrowing, supposedly? Yeah. It's not been regarded officially as a missing item, and it's not been acknowledged in the first place as Noah was wearing them, but there is some footage to show that Noah had something on underneath, which you probably expect. Anyway, again, it is possible to have no signs of defecation if a stomach is already empty, but there would be urine from the moment of passing. I mean, the empty stomach and the situation there, it's been claimed that Noah Presgrove was fed by Carter Combs just after the shower and or teabagging, and it was ramen noodles and yogurt. But people say the stomach contents don't highlight that, which is possibly was. I think it's in one autopsy report that the yogurt and noodles the girls allegedly fed him wasn't found in his system. May have vomited at some point if he was actually internally wounded, dehydrated, or alcohol poisoned from consuming too much. Absolute apologies for bringing it up, but time and location of death is the unknown that should have been pinpointed by now. Fair enough. Justice for Noah. Siobhan, I think more information regarding this may be in the autopsy that was not released to the public. Yes, I wonder, the private full autopsy report, what would that state? Because at the end of the day, I know it's a bit different as in the case, the cause of death, and it's different as in the timing. If you was to compare the Rebecca Zahow case of, I think, 2012 or 2011, the Rebecca Zahow case, you look at the autopsy report there, it is so detailed. Pages and pages full of details, every little bit mentioned. You compare that to the Noah Presgrove autopsy report, There's a big difference. So there is that possibility of, because the case is still ongoing and it's not been closed off just yet, and it's still kind of in early days compared to the Rebecca Zahow case, which is many, many, many years on, there is that possibility that a full report may come out eventually, and it might have more, which explains. Siobhan says these bodily fluids are something that, if missing, would be a big sign that he was moved. My opinion is, since OHP has not looked for a secondary scene, the ME has not provided them with any information to believe these fluids were not present. These bodily fluids are something that, if missing, so we're not just talking about bodily fluids as in fluid blood, but piss, vomit of some sort. If it's missing, it's a sign he was moved. So beside the whole blood, other means of bodily fluid missing could be a sign he was moved. OHP has not looked for a secondary scene. That's true. What's this one, Missy? The issue about black shorts drives me nuts. This is a video from Saturday with the tan coloured shorts, but the waistband of black briefs is showing. So the bathroom photo could have been from either night, if he had removed the tanned shorts but still had his black underwear on. That is a possibility. However, let's just look at the photo. Can we actually identify whether they're underwear, underpants, or shorts? It's not possible to see from this angle. I don't think it shows anything down below. So it's hard to tell if they're shorts, as in normal clothing, or outright black underwear, because it's the same colour as you see in the photo down here. You may not be able to see it zoomed in, so if I just try and click on it right now. This is from Saturday, I guess Saturday evening, night, when Shandon Johnson decided to slap Noah Presgrove. Noah Presgrove in the back with his baseball cap on backwards, his glasses on top of the cap. When Shandon slapped Noah, the sunglasses flew off behind him. Did Noah pick them up after? Who knows? Because all known public footage of Noah past this point, Noah was no longer wearing the sunglasses. So my analysis was, when Noah was slapped, he lost the sunglasses at this very moment. Now, if you look at Noah's lower body or midsection under the tummy, you can see a black waistband. And I do believe there might be some other photos which may show it clearer, as in Noah is wearing something under the shorts. And most of the time, you'd probably expect to anticipate that, you know? I mean, it's like you could say, oh, someone is wearing a skirt. Are they wearing anything underneath? In some ways, you would hope to think so. Some people may not for other reasons, if they've run out or if it's got a bit too warm. But because it's the colour black, you could say, is Noah Presgrove wearing underwear under these khaki shorts, or is he wearing another pair of shorts? Likely, it's not going to be another pair of shorts. It's just going to be underwear. So, with that being in mind, what's the deal, though, with this photo here? Is that underwear or black shorts? I would say, in my personal opinion, it's black shorts. But it's just my opinion. If we do get any more material to work with, we can do so. Lots of love. I believe it was from writing on his body because of when that occurred. I don't care what day it was. They killed him. Then why haven't Ellie arrested them? So, you know, when people use those statements, I don't care, that's irrelevant, that's not important. What is important is Noah is dead. There is only one victim, justice for Noah. It's just the same old ignorant script. If you dismiss or deny something and you just rule it out and brush it off your shoulders, you might be missing and passing up on a very important moment, right? We saw it with that other Dipsy individual previously. We saw it with the kettle pot individual that decided to say, you know, Caden's timeline, it doesn't matter if it's 6:15 or it's 5:15, it just doesn't matter. I'm sure you remember that time, Tim Daniel, when you were having a conversation with them saying, it does matter, it's very important. Anonymous, tell me, the guy with blonde hair doesn't look like he has a thing for Noah. The old saying, dead men tell no lies. What? Are you referring to the 1950s? Who says stuff like that? Anonymous homophobe who, right, 2025 people kill their best friend to cover up a crush. Are you out of your mind? Kindly F off with that hate. Right, blonde hair. Well, I didn't think it was blonde hair personally. Anonymous member, Monday at 1:50 in the morning. Tim, Becca Ann. Is that because Becca Ann said at 1:50 it's when it happened? Let's see. Tim, yes, Becca, thank you. That's what I have always been told. Just never saw a timestamp like some of the photos. I agree, Tim. We have not seen the original timestamp or the overlay of that one photo. I can't seem to find the first sharing of the image either. But is it with absolute confidence where it's at 1:50? Misty Lee, I don't know, but I wish I like hell I was there at the party that night to help put away Noah's killer. 42-year-old who loves JB. What, Justin Bieber? What? We got Miranda. I definitely believe this picture was taken at the party, of course, for her birthday. The shorts and faded marker makes me think it was taken Sunday because if you look at the slap and run video with Brylan Sweat, you mean Caden Pressey at 1:05 in the morning and Noah's asking to be slapped by Brylan. Noah had faded marker on his shoulder, yeah. But from the angles, it appeared that he didn't have any writing on his chest, tummy area, though. There's a big difference. I'm just unsure of the time frame beside it dark outside. As said, Brylan slapping Noah was at 1:05 in the morning, and it was supposedly 1:50 in the morning when Noah had all that writing on his tummy area. So within 45 minutes, more writing was applied and some form of liquid was applied to wash it off in some way. Right. And I don't know why something is telling me Carter Combs took this picture, but maybe I'm mistaken that it was Carter Combs' bathroom this picture was taken in. Well, it's not just Carter's bathroom, it's Avery's, it's Logan's bathroom, because I'm sure there was only one bathroom in the party house to my knowledge. Now, take in mind, Jack has his back behind Noah's shoulder, and Noah too. And then the two other hands are in front of them, meaning that they are not taking the photo themselves, so it's not really a selfie. Somebody else is taking the photo with whoever's phone. Will we ever find out? Maybe not, but if anyone does have an answer or a guess, leave it below. Miranda believes it could be Carter. Who knows? Dina, Noah doesn't look drunk in his picture. But did Noah ever look drunk in any of the other photos? Did anyone else ever look drunk in any of the photos? You know? Tim, I agree. They both look happy to be in each other's company and smiling and not obliterated. So then, at what point did people get obliterated? And is there any party footage and evidence of that then? Megan, Solomon, Rogers, not seen them for a while. What's this to do with? Minute of silence. Well, that's gone by now. Good observation. Brenda, shout out to Brenda. Tan khaki-coloured shorts are from Saturday into early Sunday morning. Pink shirt girl, Shane and Johnson, who played the slap game, was only there Saturday into early Sunday morning, right? Let me see the responses. I think it will this time round, which is a good thing. Oh boy, there's quite a few. Let's acknowledge them while we're here. Tim, I mean, just to totally say we are 100% certain, do we have this writing in any other photo, video? Shorts can change. I think Sharpie is less likely to change. I would say Tim Daniel. Out of my own eyes, I've yet to see any other video or photo footage showing Noah with writing on his torso front body area. The only footage that I've seen is from Saturday, which is the back and the bottom. And then onwards, that kind of, some of it went away, like the male ding-dong, which was the mid-spine area in white Sharpie, which was erased, completely removed when you look at it Sunday onwards. But the little marking on the shoulder area, upper left, that was still there, half faded. As for the bottom area, I don't know of, because Noah had his shorts on at all times onwards past that point, so you wouldn't know. But from the certain angles earlier, Noah did not have writing on his chest or tummy area from Saturday to Sunday, but Monday he did. So 1:05 to 1:50 seems to be the timeframe window when it happened. I have done a video on it already if you want to look back. I believe that writing is in another picture, but where did I see it? I've yet to see it. He left Sunday morning and went and took a shower at his home, yes, then returned to the party house Sunday evening. I believe someone mentioned he couldn't get all the Sharpie off his skin. The white writing is done with a white paint pen and washed off pretty easily with soap and water. Interesting. I really wish we knew who originally shared this photo, as in the one of Jack and Noah in the bathroom. I know I'm being extra sceptical, but in the realm of all possibilities, how do we know it wasn't from another party? We had that series of photos circulating from a party from the month prior that folks were convinced were this party. It's probably nothing. I'd love a solid confirmation. Sunday slap video, it wasn't obvious if there was writing on his stomach, if I'm remembering. That is true, Tim Daniel. From the profile of Noah, there was no writing. And it wasn't Sunday, it was Monday. It was 1:05 in the morning, AM, by Caden Pressey. The Sunday photo, you can see the second finger, second knuckle, part enough on that. Had to say it not bloody like the other picture on Saturday. Strange. Well, could it have healed? It is really difficult to say, but it is bugging me. His tongue isn't bit either like the Saturday photo. What, did Noah Presgrove bite his tongue? Was there a tongue injury? I wasn't aware of that. Interesting. His hair also looks shorter in his picture than it did with the ones with his hat on. I believe his curls on the sides show it. Picture supposedly 150. Yeah. Also, look at tongue. Doesn't look scraped or cut. I might take a look back at some of those photos shortly. Right, I agree. Do you think the Sunday photo happened before the Saturday photo or a totally different party? The dancing video, I think BBC said, was around 10:50. BBC said it was 10:52 p.m. 2 minutes before that, Caden Pressey's video of 10:50, where he's panning the camera around inside of the party house from sat down, his point of view, and Noah Presgrove is near to the kitchen area, along with Breeley beside him on the left, back facing the camera, Georgia on the right, and Jack Newton kind of behind. If you remember. So, Sunday night, there's no writing on Noah's stomach. True. But the picture of Noah and Jack Newton is correct at 1:50 a.m. Monday. There's writing on his stomach. Yes. If he went home and showered Sunday, his family should have the tanned shorts. Has the family ever confirmed that they have them? I don't know personally. I don't remember hearing that. Wouldn't Jack have debunked this picture of being from a previous party instead of rethinking the time he went to bed? That's a fair point. I don't recall if the family ever confirmed the tan shorts having them. No. If anyone does know, leave a comment down below. Lucy, might be Monday technically. Yes, this is what I meant by Sunday night, in that they are still awake. Okay, oh God. You see, when it comes to language and wording, I like to be very specific, especially when it comes to looking back retrospectively on day-to-day and dates. Anita, of course, not positive, but I equate that this was Sunday night, Monday early morning photo that Jack stated was timestamped at 1:50, as you've mentioned above it. Okay. Tammy, I thought it was Monday around 2 in the morning. No, a bit before. That would make sense that the picture with the knuckles messed up would have been 2 o'clock Monday morning and the picture was taken at 1:50 because there's no writing on him in the picture with the messed up knuckles and the cut tongue. But, what? Yeah, it was Saturday then. Yes, the picture with the knuckle injury, he's wearing the tan shorts and that's supposed to be Saturday night. Exactly, Tammy. Yeah. And then Denise says, oh yeah, true. Sunday black shorts. May have been scabbed on the knuckles, but because of the angle, hard to tell. Fair enough. Ah, there we go. That's good. Knuckles on Saturday as opposed to Sunday. So we don't need to go too far to search. There's Noah Saturday. Writing on the front, supposedly. White Sharpie pen or something. 2 grazed upper knuckles. Doing the V sign with his tongue stuck out. And you know what the funny thing is? Well, it's not funny. Based on observations, Noah Presgrove looks more drunk here on Saturday than he did Monday morning at 1:50 a.m. So that's kind of interesting, is it not? As for the tongue, I can't see any damage, if I be honest with you. That might just be me. Someone had said that Noah Presgrove's ribs looked damaged on the side, but I don't think that's any damage. It might just be the angling and the way he's got his body and his definition, possibly. On the side. Trying to look at the eyes, look at that face. Does that look like a drunk person? Well, it looks more of a drunk person than the one at 1:50 in the morning. I don't see any scrapes or damage on Noah's tongue. So unless people have got better eyesight than me, I don't see that damage on the tongue. Do any of you? You can see the fingers scraped. Is it a big deal? Is it major? Fatal? No. Is it viewable in other party footage onwards? No. Could it have healed in between? Quite likely. But wouldn't there still be like a graze, a scab, a little cut mark? You'd think. Zoom out for a second. Anything else of interest? I mean, you could argue and say, is there bruising? Is it a bit red on the collarbone, the left upper shoulder area? Or is it just a slight different colour? The only other thing that I would say is around Noah's neck and upper chest, it looks a little bit red. Red as in he was grabbed by the neck, or there was some impact to the skin, creating a bit of redness. But then again, that might just be the heat, the blood running through the body. You let me know, can you see any redness around the neck like how I can, beside the knuckle? And just behind his hand, it looks a bit more red as well. Let's back out of that for a second. Response-wise, we'll just acknowledge what's present. Brenda, hard to tell due to the position of Noah's hand in your photo. What about the people in the background and to the right? Does that help? Oh, as in the people in the background who is present. Could that tell what day it was? Well, you got Shaden in the back on the right with the pink shirt. Behind Shaden, you've got Carter Combs because she's in the pink shorts. So the pink top girl, blonde hair, is Shaden Johnson, who was there only Saturday, going into supposedly early Sunday morning. I'm just familiar with the Saturday only. Behind Shaden, in the pink shorts and the whitish top, that is Carter Combs, I believe. Then, back there, I think that could be maybe Logan Jernigan, and if it wasn't, could it be Stephanie Millan? And then beside her, there's some guy there who's got a bit of a cap, hat on, no clue who that is. But if you can at least identify one individual and you knew what day they were on, then you could determine the date of the photo itself. I'm not questioning the Saturday photo as pink shirt was there, Saturday, yes. I'm questioning the Sunday photo. Another photo of the same writing would be plenty. I'm started looking for another photo with the same writing and got sidetracked. Fair enough. Denise, that doesn't make any sense that his knuckles would be all messed up Saturday and not Sunday unless for some reason Sunday comes before Saturday. Look, the thing is, if Noah has his fingers bent or out of place, you're probably not going to see. I mean, based on those knuckles and the condition, is Noah hiding his knuckles, his fingers? Yes, he is hiding them. Depending which hand it was, I'm just trying to think. It would have been Noah's left hand, right? Noah's left hand. Let's just double check. Back down here. Give me a second. Where is it? Noah's left hand, and it's his, is it middle finger and index, or ring finger? Middle and ring, or middle and index? Well, does he show his fingers here? They are bent. Because they are bent inwards and his pointy finger is covering over the knuckle area, it is hard to tell if it's damaged or not. It's covered, right? Not much you can do about it. It's hard to tell. You could say there's a bit of redness, which would help in linking it together. All right. Tracy. Could it be that he had little cuts, nicks that bled into the creases of his knuckles? Oh, making it seem worse and bigger than what it actually was. Fair point by Tracy, that's always possible. The Sunday-Monday one, with the blood washed off and the angle of the fingers don't show as much. Exactly, that's always possible. Picture's dated 8 backwards because the Sunday picture doesn't look like his knuckles are bloody. Well, it's difficult to tell, of course. They were saying because the black shorts, I guess it's really from Sunday because this is the picture that Jack Newton changed his bedtime again. You mean Monday? Well, can we say Monday? Can we just stick with Monday, not Sunday? Okay, then maybe they hadn't gone to sleep yet, but it is Monday. Monday is Monday. September 4th means Monday, not Sunday. Sunday's the 3rd. Tim, yeah. But how do we know? I'm just wondering if anyone ever posted the timestamped photo, the original one. True. Saturday photos show writing on his body and show his knuckles busted up. Hard to tell. Right. How do we know? We really know nothing as facts when you really think about it. Just a bunch of hearsay and rumour mill. Well, there's some facts. I'm inclined to believe the images that came along with the timestamps, so this is from Saturday or Sunday. Well, that changes a lot of things. So Tim Daniel, leave a comment down below under my video if you want to explain, or even do a post yourself explaining why it changes a lot of things if it's Saturday and not Sunday then. But we must know who took the photo for it to have surfaced in the group. Was it pulled off someone's social page? And if this photo was Saturday, then Jack may not have been wrong about his bedtime then. But why would he change it still? Tim, that's a good point. If this was Saturday and was used as a reference for Jack changing his bedtime, that would mean Jack was probably correct the first time about his bedtime. I'm getting ahead of myself here then. It's the Saturday bloody knuckles that I am not seeing here that has me thinking, but from the angle it's hard to tell. Does anyone know if there are any Sunday photos of Noah with writing on him besides this one? To my knowledge, nope. Oh, we've got Laura here. Didn't Jack change his bedtime because of this picture? Surely if there was wrong night, he would have corrected people. That's one of the reasons I'm asking. If he mistakenly changed his bedtime based on a misattributed photo, that raises other issues. I'm not saying I have any reason to start going down this path. I really just want to know if we can say with certainty that this was Sunday based off these shorts. It was just something I couldn't remember. If someone did post the timestamp, I don't know who took the photo or where it was originally shared. I get. However, that's the extent of my knowledge that Jack Newton saw it and agreed. I think that he had tried to correct it. If it was indeed a picture taken on Saturday, he would have just got bashed even more, so might as well just let lying dogs lie. It's up to Tim Daniel, as it was his question. I don't remember it being an ordeal. Then again, I've only been here. Faded. But there's a video of Noah dancing that was allegedly taken around 10:50, 10:52. I don't see any writing on him. That's true. Right. Let's see if I can find my photo analysis, if possible, just to add it on with the discussions here. I've managed to find the video that I did previously, which shows a slideshow of photos of interest and also a bit of a backstory as well as to how it could explain why writing may have been washed off at some point besides the Sunday back at home having a shower post this. So just to set the context and the story straight, this was the second, this was Saturday, and you can clearly see that Noah Presgrove wearing tanned shorts. Now that black band, what you see in which Avery is grabbing Noah's right buttocks, cheek, there are Noah's underpants or briefs. Now, briefs and underpants can roll up like how they are there, which can imply that they're not black shorts. And when you look at the supposed black material that Noah is wearing at supposedly 1:50 in the morning on Monday, it does not match the same material what you see here, implying that likely when people were saying maybe Noah with the black waistband and the underpants, what you see here is the same as in the bathroom photo. No, it's not. It looks like different material, different length, different texturing, etc. Okay? Not too significant this, because as for the writing, what you see there, you will not see anywhere else because Noah is covered up at all times. In terms of the male ding-dong, you would be able to see that in other footage, but it's not there, meaning it was washed away from Saturday to Sunday morning, or when Noah had got back home, he had washed it off successfully because it does not show any other time. As for the shoulder, upper left, this footage never showed that angle. So it may have already been there, but it didn't show the people writing on, only the lower part there. If you wonder why there's a white marker there, it's to blur it out, so it's within reason of guidelines on YouTube, but it still shows all the evidence what you see on screen, okay? This one, it's been claimed by Brooke Bounds Carter in the live chat on my channel in the past that it was 10:52 p.m, 2 minutes after Caden's panning around footage showing Georgia in the background, Breely and Noah near the kitchen area. 2 minutes later, Noah is in the kitchen and he's dancing around, supposedly, from what BBC says. We only see the front, we don't see the back. Noah's in the black shorts from the looks of it, and in terms of the fitting of the black shorts, somewhat fitted. Take that as note when we get to a few more slides. Noah's torso chest area, tummy is completely clean, no writing whatsoever. Then this one at 1:05 in the morning, which was confirmed, and it's from Caden Pressey's point of view. You look at the side, tummy, torso. It's as clean as what you see at 10:52. Not much change in between this time frame period. But 45 minutes later or so, oh, look at that, writing on Noah's front tummy, torso area. And you could say, well, maybe it's the camera angle which doesn't show it. But you can clearly see that there is writing more on the side area, right? And based on the side profile, you would expect to see it there, but it's not. So 45-minute time difference of no writing to writing on the front. And, you know, in terms of it being faded and possibly smudged as well, like it's been half washed or liquid made contact with Noah's skin, you can link that back to what's mentioned here. Brooke Bounds-Carter said not to mention them playing in the river Sunday. But no, they literally were playing in the river Sunday. Brooke Carter, they were all up and down the river all weekend, every day. Brooke said, I've mentioned it numerous times, not sure if there is a zero cell service out there. Would it have been recorded or videoed? Who knows? That would have been interesting for a different point of view. I said, those underpants, briefs, what you see there, the material, the thinness and how they can roll up and are not that long in length when rolled up. Would you be able to do the same with the shorts? Exactly. I mean, when you look at those shorts, they do not look like briefs. They look quite filled out. And there's a bit of a bulge on the side, and that's not to be taken out of context. Could be wrong, but there is a bulge there. That bulge could well be a can in Noah's pocket. There's always that possibility. You let me know if you can see it. Do we have any other examples of a bulge? Yes, just from a different angle. A bulge in the pocket because of a can inside, stretching the material, sticking it out. That's how it comes across what you see there. And to be honest, in a 45-minute time difference, whilst you don't see it here because of the camera angle screenshot from the full footage, when Noah Presgrove is stood up challenging Brylan Sweat to slap him, Noah, I believe, does have a can in his side pocket, which could well be the same one, what you see there maybe, and that's why there's a bulge around the back, because there's a can stuck in the pocket. So, within 45 minutes, there is writing on Noah's body, from 1:05 Monday to 1:50 Monday, but it's also been half washed in between too. So does that imply that someone writ on Noah's body and then quickly Noah tried washing it off, or what, he went down to the Red River with people? But would you be going down to the Red River in between 1:05 to 1:50 in the morning on Monday, or would it be kind of dark and dangerous to go on down there and play in water in the dark? Does make you think. Are there any other means or methods of having it washed off? Yes, if you used to have a shower or water was splashed on you, but would Noah have a shower at that time when he was going to have one later on in the day? Well, later on the Monday. It does make you think. And what also needs to be acknowledged, as for the writing, the quality of it, yes, you know, with round the back, if there was a swimming pool still present at the time of the party, did Noah ever jump into that? And that could have caused some of the stuff to wash off. Got to take in mind the quality of the Sharpie pen. Is it the same one that was used on the Saturday, or is it a lesser quality one? Is it a different type of pen? Maybe it's not a marker. Maybe it doesn't stain as easily. But I would say, and you've got to take in mind, with the photo that Tim Daniel had shared on Facebook, whilst it shows most of it, it was partially cropped out. So, well, I could be wrong, but it looked like that from my point of view on screen. So you don't truly see the true length of the clothing down there. And it appears that Jack Newton is in a pair of jeans with a belt, and that Noah is in his pair of black shorts. Due to the length of them, they do look quite long in length, and the way they fit on Noah's body is similar to when you see him dancing at 10:50. That's what I would say, the waistband and how it fits around. So, that's my thoughts there. And as for the hand, the fingers, well, they're bent. You can't see. you can't ultimately see if the knuckles are damaged or not, so you can't really compare that easy. So I'd say it's very possible that it could still be true that it's 1:50 in the morning, that particular bathroom photo, and that's what influenced Jack in changing his time of when he truly went to sleep, because you can't say you went to sleep at 1 in the morning, then 50 minutes later you're seen on camera alive, and you probably changed to, no, it was at 10 minutes after 2 in the morning when I actually went to sleep. That would make sense there for the change. And in the supposed evidence coming out, counter evidence if you want to put it that way. It's very possible that 1:05 in the morning to 1:50, 45-minute time difference, always possible for someone to then write on Noah's body in between that period. It's not a set time, it's not a time-gated thing where it can only happen Saturday because that's where the footage shows them writing on Noah's body. It couldn't happen again, it can happen again, it's always possible to happen again. People need to open their minds there, because that's why I did my video at the time in the past. I did a recap today, but I did a deeper analysis back then, and a deep analysis covering how the sunglasses were lost, how the hat may have been lost, and so on, and then documenting at what point it was lost and all of that. Be sure to check my previous videos out, full playlist up there. The only thing that makes it just a little bit tricky in terms of the time frame period is within a 45-minute time frame window on Monday for Noah to have no writing to writing, and it faded, meaning written on in the 45-minute time frame window and also washed off, or an attempt to wash it off based on the fadedness. How was it washed out, washed off? What by, who by? That's the question. That's the one question and problem that I have. But hopefully all in all, it brings it all together. A bit of a multifunctional video today. If you found the video helpful, be sure to hit the like button, share the video so more people get to see it. And if you haven't already, somewhere near the like button, or if you scroll across down below somewhere, it should say hype. Be sure to click the hype button. That'll help with spreading awareness, and then more people get to see this information and these discussions to keep the case alive, to generate new ideas. It's all very important. My name's WarLike Wrath. I'll see you next time. For now, goodbye, good night.